Now, President Trump recently came back from a trip in France, and he was criticized for doing quite a few things. One of them, of course, is a statement after he got home talking about Europe building its own army. Well, now that's interesting, right? Now, this is Emmanuel Macron. He's president of France. And he basically said, look, we should stop relying on America to protect us and start building our own, military force here just for Europe. In fact, on November 6th, Macron said, we have to protect America we have to protect ourselves with respect to China, Russia, and even the United States of America. Oh, we have to protect ourselves from America. Immediately, this triggers Donald Trump. He said this, Emmanuel Macron suggests building its own army to protect Europe against the US, China, and Russia. But it was Germany in World Wars I and II. How did that work out for France? They were starting to learn German in Paris before the US came along. Pay for NATO or not. Now, okay, well, that's interesting here. Now, Macron, he came back and he was like, that's actually not what I meant. I meant that what we need to do is we need to focus on protecting ourselves against cybercrime and to basically stop relying on the United States for, things like weapons, right? And they're saying we should build up our domestic industries so that we don't have to buy as many weapons from the United States. Now, look, when you put it in that context, buying weapons from the United States, I think it's great that they're going to stop relying on us, because right now, basically the United States' biggest export is guns. So I'm not in favor of that. I'm not in favor of being the world's supplier of bombs and guns and ammunition, etc. Even if it means jobs. You know what? We can actually do better and have jobs in better industries than the industry of fucking death. But that's just my humble opinion. Now, here's the thing, right? Going back to Donald Trump. So he talked about pay NATO or not, right? Well, apparently they're choosing not to, even though, look, at his urging, and you can give him a little bit of credit for this, he did get some member states, member countries in NATO, I should say, to pay a little bit more. And that's fair is fair, right? And look, if you want to say it's not fair for the United States to basically make up the bulk of NATO troops and use and pay for the big bulk of NATO activities, okay, that's completely fair, and we can have a conversation about that. I think we should reduce the military role of NATO and actually put more into the humanitarian role. But that's just me. Again, I'm somebody who is not in favor of war. So anyway, but back to Trump, he doesn't really understand that. He doesn't really get the nuances. Are you kidding me? Trump's brain is where nuance goes to die. So he's just mad that Macron slighted him. Now, on the history of this, did you know, and this is what's ridiculous of what he's saying, right? Well, hey, man, you're going to protect yourself from us? No, you got to protect yourself from Germany. Germany and France are two of the closest allies. In fact, we used to be as close of allies to both France and Germany until you got elected. And look, I guess we were having problems before, like during the presidency of George W. Bush. Republicans, when they get into office, they wreck all of our international agreements, our alliances, and they make us look bad to the rest of the fucking world. Maybe we should stop, voting for Republicans. But anyway, that said, France and Germany have been big allies. And so if you're talking about building a coalition of European states, a European military, well, then it would have both German and French troops in it. So what he says doesn't make sense at all. But of course, this is the result of Trump pushing allies away. And another result is, the world no longer looks at the United States as a leader. And maybe maybe that's a good thing, because in reality, the United States hasn't been that good of a leader. They haven't been much of a good leader. We haven't been, I should say. All we've done as a country is just gotten us into endless wars for profit. So I guess maybe it's a blessing in disguise. And so maybe this is a good chance when Donald Trump's gone to reevaluate the kind of leadership role we've taken in the world, which is basically us bombing everybody, and go in a different direction. Maybe more aid, more humanitarian type of things, and less bombs. I guess you could see this as an opportunity for a little bit of self-reflection on the country. Just saying. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.